Episode 342. A dozen residents of Sin City had now picked themselves up off the ground. Their attention shifted, focusing as one on Soft Mist. With a collective wind howl, they swarmed forward. Only then did Swordpoint slowly push himself up from the ground, a sinister grin appearing above his head. Tang Ru had been tricked, and she felt nothing but contempt for this underhanded scoundrel. This time, she was truly enraged. Even when her character had been ambushed and killed by the major guilds before, she hadn't felt this level of fury. Without a word, Tang Ru immediately steered Soft Mist forward, charging headlong into the dozen or so residents rushing toward her. Yet the cold gleam of his Crimson Moon spear was aimed squarely at Swordpoint, who stood there unperturbed. The Swordpoint was somewhat rattled by Tang Ru's aggressive momentum, but seeing the dozen or so brutal residents of Sin City form a solid wall in front of him, his heart instantly settled.
This girl's as battle-hungry as the locals in Sin City. But with escape looking doubtful, she's not retreating, she's charging in. That looks pretty stupid.
He remained unmoved by the sword's point. Seeing Soft Mist collide with the residents, he had no intention of leaving. His mind was still on the Christmas thief behind Soft Mist. Of course, he wouldn't mind in the slightest if he could take out Soft Mist in the process. With a thunderous crash, Soft Mist unleashed another falling flower palm. This low-level skill was so overwhelmingly powerful, it put many high-level skills to shame. The palm strike slammed into the crowd, the shockwave rippled outward, and the thunderous impact echoed like a relentless string of firecrackers. It was as if a bomb had been dropped into the crowd, scattering them in all directions, leaving them stumbling and reeling. Point of the sword was visibly shocked. For a single palm strike to create such an effect, Soft Mist's skill was even higher than he had imagined. That falling flower palm was executed flawlessly, but charging in like this won't be so easy. The level suppression from being 6 levels higher was simply too great. The falling flower palm's normally sharp knockback effect was drastically weakened against such a significant level gap. The strike was executed flawlessly, yet it fell far short of Tang Ru's expectations. He was about to send Soft Mist charging forward to attack Swordpoint's location at all costs, when two cold glints flashed. Two residents were already pouncing on him. The falling flower palm's effect wasn't fully realized. Many of the struck residents weren't blown back far enough. As a result, the mobs Tang Ru had calculated would be knocked over remained completely unscathed. They were already attacking him. Those who had been knocked down rolled and sprang back to their feet with uncanny agility. Swordpoint sneered. He figured Soft Mist wouldn't dare engage these two residents. If she did, she'd be instantly surrounded by over a dozen more, and then she'd truly have no way out. Then in a flash of crimson light, Soft Mist's Red Moon spear swept out in a diagonal thrust. Defying all of Swordpoint's expectations, she engaged the two residents. Jianfeng Suoji was taken aback for a moment, then snorted dismissively.
Fool!
The Crimson Moon spear carved a diagonal arc, a sky strike sending both residents soaring into the air. Then, Soft Mist thrust her spear forward. A dragon tooth struck the central figure, sending him flying straight toward the point of the sword. Soft Mist followed right behind, surging forward another step. With a sweep of her hand, she drove her spear into another resident. With a flick of his wrist, he carved a half-moon arc, sending the villager crashing to the ground behind him. The shockwave erupted, blasting all the pursuing minions off their feet. This time Swordpoint was stunned. The sky strike launched the target into the air, but due to the level suppression, the height wouldn't be that great. Yet in that split second, Soft Mist had managed to execute a dragon tooth and a circle swing, both with pinpoint accuracy. Her APM and microcontrol forced Swordpoint to reassess her once more. He sidestepped the resident sent flying by the dragon tooth, only to see a fiery burning battle spirit streak toward him. It struck him just as the launched resident whizzed past his side. The blazing rune detonated, its shockwave even catching Jianfeng Suoji. Fire attribute battle mage orbs always have a bit of splash damage, so it wasn't just Dragon Tooth and Sky Strike. In that split second, Tang Ru had also unleashed a fire orb, and she'd timed it perfectly. That blast from the tip of her sword, that was no accident.
Her mechanics are this good?
As Swordpoint was still processing this, Soft Mist had already closed the distance. Her Crimson Moon spear came crashing down toward his face, looking for all the world like she meant to flatten him into paste. But Sword Point was no pushover like those NPC mobs. He sidestepped, dodging Soft Mist's strike, then hopped back twice in quick succession. Soft Mist's spear chased after him. Thrusting twice, both times, it found only empty air. Tang Ru was taken aback, but Tang Ru, ever the competitor, found her focus intensifying dramatically. Her APM and microcontrol were now operating at a level far beyond her usual standard. She was certain her double stab had been lightning fast, yet her opponent seemed to have predicted it, leaping back a split second later. Tang Ru's command was already locked in. At this APM there was no time to pull back. To Tang Ru, unleashing this double stab now made her feel like a complete fool being played. With a mocking laugh, he followed the sword's point and flicked it upward in a reverse slash. Tang Ru didn't think, just leaped back. A thwack sounded. She'd been ambushed by the pursuing Christmas thief. The thief's aggro was still firmly on Han Yanro. He had no intention of seizing this chance to flee. The horde of Sin City residents who had just been knocked down were already scrambling back to their feet, relentlessly surging forward once more. Yet Tang Ru proved even more stubborn than the NPCs. She was determined to charge straight at Sword Point once more. The Crimson Moon's spear thrust upward, a sky strike slashed through the air, only to be effortlessly dodged by Sword Point. He pivoted, his left hand sweeping out in a powerful domineering falling flower palm, and once again, he struck nothing but empty air.
Why can't I land a hit?
Tang Ru didn't think her own technique was flawed, yet her opponent seemed to anticipate every move. A vague suspicion nagged at her. She felt she should know the reason, but in the heat of the moment, she couldn't calm her mind enough to think it through. At that moment, only one thought burned in his mind: keep fighting. Even if he was ultimately overwhelmed and slain by this horde of mobs, he would at least drag that treacherous bastard down with him to respawn in the main city.